Jared Goff joined the elite last night. That's an elite quarterback in the NFL. That's not luck. He was dropping dimes. You know when I get mad at Eli Manning, forget about not seeing the field, right? But because no one's ever catching the ball on their steps. You know why Saquon Barkley's not averaging more yards per carry? He's always got to stop, adjust, turn around, reach behind him. This man, Jared Goff, was hitting everyone on their steps. How about the pass to Cooper Kupp in the corner? Through two defenders, double coverage right on his steps in the corner where only the receiver could catch it. Those are Aaron Rodgers balls. Those are precise. Forget about the 400-plus yards. I get it. Roughing the pass rules, everything favors it. I understand that. But this man joined the elite. McVay deserves enormous credit for it. The way Carson Wentz is kind of born into an NFL world where Doug Peterson, a former quarterback, is his coach. And early on with Jeff Fisher, it looks like Jared Goff is a bust. That's the number 1 overall pick in the draft. That's a bust. I know a bust when I see it, and that's a bust. Carson Wentz, look at him. Oh, it turns out you put put Jared Goff with a guy who, like, does things like, I don't know, use play action, right? And by the way, not RPOs, not situations loose where he's out there running, getting hurt, like Carson Wentz, by the way, but a situation where there's some deception, where and then they protected him with Whitworth, and they gave him receivers, and now Gurley can run. The team is awesome. I get it. They were my preseason picks, as they were for many people. But the takeaway from last night was that man, Jared Goff, joined the elite quarterbacks of the NFL.
You don't join the elite by one game. I'm not giving him that. I'm not going to go that far. I know the brother can play, and obviously the Los Angeles Rams, the city of Los Angeles should be thanking me. I don't know if you realize this. I'm the person they owe a debt of gratitude to because I led the campaign to get rid of Jeff Fisher. There's nobody in America There's nobody in America that wanted Jeff Fisher going more than me. You know what? And that obviously led to them hiring Sean McVay. And in his first 20 games as a head coach, the Rams have scored 618 points, which is second all time. Okay. Now, Jared Goff was supposed to be a bust, but we saw that he was being coached by Jeff Fisher, all right? So we understand that. But here's my takeaway, and it's not to take anything away from Jared Goff, who was absolutely sensational last night. Perfect passer rating of 153. We know that. It was special. Even though Kirk Cousins did throw for 422 yards, let's not forget that. Here's my takeaway. That damn Vikings defense. Where is it? And Anthony Barr, right now, the only thing Anthony Barr is known for is hurting damn Aaron Rodgers. That's it. Outside of that, did you see Sean McVay put them in situations in at least 3 of the 5 touchdowns? At least 3 of the 5 touchdowns. They sat up there and said, wait a minute, we were going to run this play, but Anthony Barr's right there. Go that away. You understand? That's what they did. They attacked this man all night long. And all I'm saying to you is this. When you look at the Vikings defense, and Coach Zimmer spoke about this, our defense was horrid, and our pass defense has been horrid. I don't know how to explain it. We keep forgetting, and I keep bringing this up. They gave up 62 points in the last 6 quarters of football in last year's playoffs. 24 to New Orleans in the second half, 38 to the Philadelphia Eagles. They haven't been the same since, other than the 16-point game they gave up earlier this year. I think it's like 29-38, and I forgot what it was. These guys, their defense is not impressive. We had the Vikings as Super Bowl contenders looking for them to add Kirk Cousins to a squad that we consider to be elite because of their defense. And what has been exposed to me is that this defense is a shell of itself. They are not what we thought they were going to be. They have no business being in Super Bowl contention talk because their defense is not good. Bottom line.
Stephen A., last year after the NFC Championship game,
yes,
and then when they signed Kirk Cousins this year, one of the first things I said was, I hope he can play defense. I hope he can play corner. Because last year in the NFC Championship, they were absolutely systematically taken apart. I'm just picking up right where you left off because, believe me, I have plenty to say about Jared Goff. Plenty. But you're absolutely right. And, look, Mike Zimmer said it after the game. He said, look, I'm concerned not so much about our record. I'm concerned about how we're getting to our record, and namely on defense. He said he's never seen a defensive team he's coached play this bad. And they have first-rounder after high-paid player after first-rounder after high-paid player in that secondary. And if the pass rush isn't getting there, they're in big trouble. They're in big trouble. And in this day and age, in this league, if you can't hold it down with tight coverage in the back end, you're in trouble. So that's why I said last year, they can say Kirk Cousins is the answer and he's the guy who's going to put him over the top. It's not true. He is not going to put them over the top. He is not the difference. The difference is collectively what's happening on the defensive side of that ball. And there's another team that's just like that you love, the Steelers. They're in the same boat. Their secondary
when
is
you
a
pay
problem.
a quarterback,
that's just a low blow right there.
I'm
That's
just
a low
telling
blow.
you their
That's just a
secondary
low blow. You
is
just
a
did that to
problem,
mess with
and
me.
you know it.
And just
now,
did it to mess
move
with
it
me.
on to Jared.
When you pay a quarterback, all quarterbacks are overpaid. They're overpaid. When you pay them all that money, guess what boat you're in? You're in the same boat. There's less money to go around.
But you know what, though? But you know what, Max? Let me dispel that notion right there, because I hate when people say that. When you pay one person, you can't pay everybody else. The philosophy is not to go out and buy championships. It's not to buy more players.
But here and there, you can supplement.
You're right. You're right.
The Rams did it because they're not paying the quarterback.
But let me ask you this: how did the Seattle Seahawks become a dominant defense? They drafted and developed fifth-rounders, free agents, fifth-rounders, got bargain basement free agents from other teams. Cliff Averill didn't come for a lot of money. Richard Sherman was a fifth-round pick. Cam Chancellor, people didn't think could play. Earl Thomas was the only number one pick. Bobby Wagner is a high draft pick. KJ Wright is. So I'm saying you can do it if you invest a lot of money in the quarterback, but you have to be right. And a lot of times GMs don't want that responsibility. They want to be able to say, we have money to pick and choose, because then it's not on them. Then they can throw it on the coach and go, I gave them to you. It ain't on me. That's a whole nother discussion.